Matre Namaha. Our Indian tradition is entirely different with all other traditions of the world because we have some sort of philosophies, traditions, cultures, civilization. Each and every one has its own glory, its own greatness. In this regard, we have four Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. These four Purusharthas are mainly based on our Hindu culture. Among these four, people always seek the fourth one is called moksha at the end of their life. Regarding moksha, mean mukti, liberation or salvation, is described in every scriptural script of Hinduism. Puranas, Upanishads, Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, everywhere we can see the discussion about moksha. When you come across Bhagavad Gita, there is a chapter is entirely allotted for moksha. That is called Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Means a jiva after his death, where he goes, whether hell or heaven, whether he can be taken by Yamadutas or Devadutas. What are the remedies? What are the Nitya Vibhuti, world of eternal splendor? These and all based on one's own actions. We people believe on doctrine of karma, mean karma siddhanta, mean as you sow, so shall you reap. Yatha karma, tatha palam. Our actions will get the results. All our activities are dependent upon our actions. Therefore, our elderly people, even the sages, the saints, all were suggested that we should do our actions according to scriptures. We should not deviate even a single step from right path, mean righteous path, Nyaya Marga. To attain the heavenly bliss, we should follow the scriptural rites. In this regard, we have lots of remedies are given how to overcome the troubles, and especially it explains in a detailed manner how to overcome the grief, how to surpass our troubles. Even from the birth of our life, we have to adopt such qualities. What Vedas are ordered, that should be done. All actions are meant by our own karma. So, Lord Krishna also says, it is your duty to do dharma. Never expect the result. Similarly, why the result will come according to our actions of previous birth, present birth. Therefore, we should always be cautioned to follow the scriptural rules strictly. When you come across moksha, there are so many things are described well. Today we are going to talk about this topic of the moksha in detailed way. It gives us a path how to follow, how to walk on those paths which are already passed by our ancestors. We have some dharmas, and these dharmas are strictly given or instructed by Vedas, that should be followed by us. So we have to know this in detail. Therefore, today I took the topic Nitya Vibhuti, world of eternal splendor. This is a topic. Let us start with the shloka. Shri Shaile Sadaya Patram Deepakyadi Gunarnavam Yatindra Pravanam Vande Ramyaja Mataram Munim. The Jiva, by his mere will, crosses the Vaitarini river. The Vishnudutas who look like Lord Vishnu with 4 hands and bright faces called Amanavasa meet and greet him. They told him and guide him to Paramapada. By the touch of the Amanava, the Jiva gets transformed with all auspicious qualities. He is known as Mukta, means freed soul. He is able to see the glorious Paramapada at a distance. Those in Paramapada will have only Sattva Guna. They have clear Jnana. Paramapada has an Aishwarya and wealth which cannot ever be measured. He Jiva bows down and offers his namaskarams. When he attains that world where the Lord reigns supreme, he attains the status of having Saloka, the privilege of being in the same world as the Lord. His body is very much like that of the God. Therefore, he is said to possess the blessings Sarupa to the Lord, having a body similar to that of the Lord. So, let us welcome accorded to Mukta. Amanavas, Nityas and Muktas welcome the Mukta. The place is filled with the sound of conch, Tiruchinnam and Bheri. 500 Apsaras who have been deputed by the Lord welcome him. They come from the immortal city of Aparajita, invincible, which is the capital and headquarters of the Lord. They come in 5 groups of 100, each accompanied by the sweet music of bugles and conch. They are holding in their hands garlands, fragrant flowers, raiments, and other articles of decoration. Garuda brings a Divya Vimana. A number of damsels, Apsaras, from Paramapada are seated in the Vimana. Stotras are sung. The Vimana starts in its journey to Paramapada. En route, he passes through 2 high oceans of nectar named Aram and Nyam, as well as gardens, mountains, rivers, and lakes. Then Mukta moves across the lake of the nectar, Airammadiyam, which looks like filled with the flood of happiness. Then he goes near Somasavana as Ashwatha tree. The Vimana finally nears the entrance. Welcome him. Having reached there, the Mukta utters Om Shri Vaikuntaya Namaha and offers obeisance to the gateway of Vaikuntha. Thus the soul reaches the Paramapada, also known as Ayodhya and Aparajita. There will be the assembly hall called Prajapati Sabha. What we are discussing after death of the Jiva, if he does good deeds, these are the benefits he is going to enjoy. Now, such a Mukta arrives at the grand tower with the portals. Passing through the gate, he steps into the broad streets of the city of God. As he proceeds, the lovely damsels receive him, carrying in their hands glowing lamps. They sprinkle on him scented powder. Some bring the Paduka of the Lord. They welcome with Padukas is the greatest honor that can be shown to be a mukta. Then he moves and comes to the divine mandapa. Thereafter, he reaches the assembly hall called Prajapati Sabha. The hall is vast and never crowded in spite of the presence of multitudes of Nitya Suris and Muktas. There are four entrances and with two Dwarapalakas for each of them. Chanda and Prachanda are in front. Bhadra and Subhadra are in the right. Jaya and Vijaya are in the back, and Data and Vidata are in the left. There are 8 commanding officers in the 8 corners of the pavilion, Ashtadikpalaka like. Each of them mounted, well armed, and waited upon by a post attachments guarding it. They are Kumuda Aksha, Pundarika, Vamana, Sankukarna, Sarvanetra, Sumukha, and Supratiksha. These are Ashtadiggajas. As a Mukta goes towards them, they, with love and respect, receive and admit him. Vishwaksena, the Lord's commander-in-chief, now takes charge of Mukta and his arrival is announced. Several officers on duty come to wait upon him. The Mukta is overwhelmed with joy, bows down and raises at every step. As he comes near and mounts the step, Garuda is seen with folded hands. The Mukta prostrates before Garuda and with his permission gets into the beautiful assembly hall. There is a beautiful dais, Simhasana, on which the Lord with his consorts is seated. On one side of it are seated the earlier acharyas who were occupying a place of honor. They are immensely pleased to see the Mukta. The Mukta, with gratitude and reverence, falls at their feet and says that he cannot find any recompense for the help they had given and prays that they should place their feet on his head and bless him. There are infinite number of Nitya Suris and Muktas who are standing in rows lost in full and perfect enjoyment of bliss of the Lord and his qualities. Some of them engage themselves in the service of the Lord. Others pray for the welfare of the Lord by singing Pallandu and Jitante. Now the Mukta is in the immediate presence of the Lord and is before the throne of divinity. Now, Divya Yoga Paryanka means the divine throne. The Pancharatra Samhitas declare some details of the components of the divine throne. The Paryanka Vidya of Upanishads describes the less planks and other parts of this throne are composed of realities, the past and the future virtue, knowledge, non-attachment, and rulership from the 4 feet. The 4 Vedas are 4 cross bars that support the planks. The 4 yugas also serve the same purpose. 3 qualities are threefold blanks in the center. All of them are Nitya Suris who preside over the various things that form the limbs of the divine throne. The Mukta is filled with joy and wonder at a direct vision of these things about which he had only heard from the Acharyas. On the divine throne is a divine lotus which has radiance similar to the dazzling luster of billions of suns raised to the dazzling luster of variously It has 8 petals spread into 8 directions. On each one of them is a divine damsel of white complexion, like spotless by full moon, doing service to Lord by Chamara. Adisesha has infinite might and knowledge, because which he is able to carry on his body the Lord, keeping him comfortable. He is known as Sesha as he serves the Lord on different ways, assuming appropriate forms. To the Lord, he is the abode, bed, throne, footstool, raiment, pillow, and also an umbrella. Adisesha has full darshan of the Lord. The Mukta has attained the utmost proximity of the Lord. Now, what about the Mukta stands before the Lord? The Lord, the supreme ruler of the universe, with his consorts, mean Shri Devi, Bhudevi, and Nila Devis, are seated on the divine conch Adisesha. On the right side is Shri Mahalakshmi. She is the supreme ruler of all, the object of all, and the recipient of the services of all. On the left side is Bhumi Devi along with Neela Devi, as if to indicate to the devotees the proper place for them to stand and serve. The Divya Mangala Vigraha of Lord, which the Mukta enjoys, is said to be superior even to the essentials nature of the Lord, which is blemishless and blissful. The divine body with the limbs in perfect proportions and with ornaments in faultless decoration is perennial source of infinite bliss to Nitya Suris. All his gestures are pleasing to the Lord. The Mukta bursts out in the Stotra of the Lord. Next, Mukta's praise of the Lord. How? The Vedas, particularly the Upanishad portions, are the only sources from which we can acquire a knowledge of Paramatma, the Lord, his Nitya Vibhuti, and Vaikuntha. Advars have been blessed by the Lord with a direct vision, the beautiful form, enjoyed the auspicious qualities briefly revealed by the Upanishads, and brought them out in their songs. What the Mukta enjoys and sings there in Sri Vaikuntha is very much akin to the experience of the Alvars and Acharyas. Now the Mukta is in the divine presence of the Lord Adisesha and has a full and direct vision of the Lord. He is launched with a sudden flow of bliss and slowly collects himself. Nammalvar in his Tiruvalmoi, Elayar Avi, enjoys his exquisite form limb by limb. Ramanuja in his Vaikuntha Gadya describes the beautiful form of it. What is that? Lord, and praise to him. Pillai Swami in his Archiradi experiences the divine form of the Lord, limb by limb, and also as a whole. Vedanta Desigara in his Parampara Sopanam has shown the longing desires as a mumukshu and enjoyments as a mukta. They have been shown separately. Mukta's ascent on the divine conch. Having seen the Lord Vaikunthanatha seated on the Simhasana, the Mukta bows down by joining his hands. Says, Samasta Parivaraya Srimate Narayanaya Namaha. That he offers his namaskara to Sriman Narayana, Garuda, Vishwaksena, and others staying with him. In all humanity, he prays to the Lord of Sri Vaikuntha, who is possessed of unexcelled bliss, should be pleased to place his feet on him, his slave, and bless. Now the Mukta places his feet on the steps of the Simhasana and climbs on it. The Lord is equally happy on seeing the Jiva, who had been away long time from the world, living in this world. He seats the Jiva on his lap as Rama welcomed Bharata in Chitrakuta. As Krishna embraced Krura, the Paramatma embraces the Mukta, holds him close with love. The Lord wants to increase his joy hearing the Mukta himself speak about his redemption and so lovingly puts the question to him, "Who are you?" Let us see the Mukta's prayer. The response of the Mukta to the loving question of the Lord follows. The Mukta is not able to find any recompense to the Lord for the great help he had given him. So, with all humility, he submits to the Lord the thoughts that surge in his mind in the following words: I am your slave, Milord, but from beginningless time I was sunk in the ocean of samsara, cycle of births and deaths. Now that I have realized the truth that you are the inner soul of all the worlds, and my essential nature is dependent on your essential nature. Paramatma hears this humble prayer of the Mukta, pleased looks at the face of Lakshmi, the universal mother. Both the Lord and his consort are of the identical opinion in blessing the Mukta, who therefore is the recipient at once of the grace of the lotus-born Mahalakshmi and thus universal master. In this manner, the released soul Mukta has the bliss of experience of Paramatma, which is full, continuous, eternal, clear, and having no other end in view. The Mukta finds his soul joy in fulfilling all the purposes of Bhagavan in all states, all situational without only expectation, owing to the infinite and unequaled delight arising from such an experience. Such is the nature of the height, good, Parama Purushartha of the individual soul. The enjoyment of Bhagavan, which finds its fruition and development in his service, which has a beginning and no end. Mukta state of release. The Mukta has attained the highest goal, which consists of enjoyment of Bhagavan with his attributes from qualities Nitya Vibhuti and Leela Vibhuti. The enjoyment finds its fulfillment in service to Bhagavan. The Lord Paramapada used here signifies three things: Swarupa, the essential nature of the Bhagavan; Sri Vaikunta, of the highest abode; and third, Jiva Swarupa, or the essential nature of Jiva, since the feature of being the object is common to all the three of them. The Swarupa of Bhagavan is called Paramapada because it's a ultimate and supreme object of enjoyment, being of unsurpassed agreementables. The perfect enjoyment of Bhagavat Swapna occurs only that reaching the most delightful region, far superior to all others. Therefore, the region Sri Vaikunta is also known as Paramavada. The Swarupai are the essence of millionaire or nature of Jiva, which has for its attributions knowledge and my happiness. He referred by the term Paramapada, since it is a recipient of the joy resulting from the attainment of Bhagavan, and since it is also among the vibrants or the glows, possessions of the Supreme Lord. In short, Bhagavan and his two vibhutis are the glorious possessions like of the Supreme. In short, Bhagavan and his two individual vibhutis, Nitya and Leela, are the objects of enjoyment for the mistake in the state of refugee. Sharanu Koradam. One can understand that Nitya Vibhuti, which is the abode of Sudra dynasty, which is also called Shuddha Sattva, self-luminous and blue-cest, are the objects of defiant and to mukta. But the objects of the Leela Vibhuti also stands for sasras and drawn that they should be given up as soon as getting the things. Would they be agreeable to mukta? The answer is their happy appeared disgraceful to the jiva, and he was in samsara because karma which was sticking to him from the time immemorial. Now that he has been freed from karma and has become a mukta, he looks upon the objects varu, the glorious possessions of the Lord, and therefore they are agreeable to him by two illustrations. One, milk, which is normally sweet, is bitter to the taste of a person who is suffering with excessive bile, but it tastes sweet to the same man when he is cured of the disease or cured of the disease. When a prince is in the prison undergoing punishment for some offense committed by him, the prison is disagreeable to him. It never supports. But when the king is pleased to let him free, appoint him as crown prince, and God allows him to enjoy all the pleasures similar to his own, the same prison that has not undergone any change in agreeable to the prince since it is now a symbol of his father's glory. When he becomes mukta and enjoys without it, is to be father's glory. There is no return of the mukta to samsara. Therefore, the ultimate goal of attainment known as mukti is eternal for him, and it will last as long as his soul exists. This mukti is paripurna brahmanubandha and is of the nature of perfect and full enjoyment of Paramatthan, and all that pertains to him are his essential nature, means Swarupa, delightful form, Vigraha, auspicious qualities, Kalyanagaru, or Nitya Vibhuti and Leela Vibhuti. This enjoyment does not stop there but overflows into service to the Paramatma. Service to all kinds, at all times, under all situations, for which there is no reaction or return. Sarvadesha Sarvakala Sarvavasto Chitta Chitta Sarvavidhai Kainkarya. The Lord restores to Mukta the essential nature with the 8 qualities already we said, being free from sin, old age, death, sorrow, hunger, and almost being endowed with all the desired objects and an unhindered will. Satya Kamananda Sthatya Sankalpa. Upanishad's statement that the Mukta is one with Paramatma refers only to the equivalent enjoyment of the wisdom and bliss of the Brahman, means Samayam equality. These are the features peculiar to him and with his distinctive characteristics. one who is a cause of the world, one who is confers moksha on jivas, one who is the support of the world, one who is comfortable of the world, one who is the control of the world, one who is all non-scientist things and sentient beings exist, one who has everything on his body, one who is determinated by the all words, one who can be understood by Vedas, one who is a refuge of the all the world, one who should be adorned by all those who desire moksha, one who grants the fruit of all actions, one whose essential is omnipresence, omniscience, and omnipotence, one who is the spouse of Sri Mahalakshmi. Thus, Nitya Vibhuti is explained in detailed manner. Shri Kantai Kalyani Nade Nade Dinan Shri Venkata Nivasaya Srinivasaya Mangalam Mangalasasmaya Madacharya Brahmai Sarvaesha Purvairacharya Sarvutaya Astu Mangalam.